Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ULTRAWORLD EXODUS. I am the game's sole creator, James Beach, and I'm here today to show you Vacation Mode, which is one of the three modes in the game. The other two are story-based. This one's free roaming, and as the name implies, Vacation Mode, you're on a virtual vacation. And much like a vacation, you have a camera in hand, and you're here to explore at your leisure, take in the music, take in the sights, and take photographs. So I'm using my Xbox controller today. Use the right shoulder button to just snap a photo. Those are saved to your user folder, and obviously you can take as many as you like. I encourage you to take as many as you like. Post them online. I'd really like to see what you guys come up with. But in order to really get some interesting shots, just taking a photo by itself isn't enough, because everyone will end up taking the same pictures. So I've added quite a few features in order to really make your experience in Vacation Mode unique. I kind of think of this as almost like an art toy, where you're creating your very own abstract paintings. So let me start showing you some of those camera features. So first is probably one of the most obvious, it's zooming. So you can zoom in and out. So I'm going to zoom in here and take a nice close shot like that. Go all the way out. You kind of get like a fisheye, not really, but you can take in a larger portion. So let me line up some items like this. And this is what I do when I play my own game. I just kind of walk around and find cool photos. So one of the other things you can do, actually there's quite a bit more you can do, is if you press the left trigger, that changes the time of day for the world. So obviously there's 24 hours worth of these, and every time you press the button you get a different randomly assigned time. And this random time is up to the second, so there's thousands of different times you could possibly get. And this also changes the environmental probe, which influences how dark the shadows are in the direction of the sun and things like that. So that is also randomized on top of choosing the time. So even if you get the same time twice, you won't get the same probe twice. So really you're very seldomly going to get the same look more than once just by pressing this one button. So that, like I said, that gives you thousands of options, but really I feel like that's not enough. I could go further. So if you press the right trigger button, now this changes the color correction. So this is the brightness, the saturation, the contrast, and several other things. And this is also randomized. So you really never know what you're going to get. And these numbers are randomized up into the millions. So every time, so now I'm just pressing both trigger buttons and just kind of seeing what I can get. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. I've obviously been playing this game quite a bit, and you would think I've seen every combination, but there's still look at that hard contrast. That's cool, that silhouette. Just that photo right there. Take that. You really don't know what you're going to get, because at this point, between these two buttons alone give you what I feel is about infinite variety. So I'm just going to continue walking around. So there's about 15 to 20 different places in the game. Actually, let me switch back. So if you press the back button at any point, or 0 on the keyboard, obviously there's full keyboard support as well, it returns all your changes back to normal. So another thing we have is, if you press Y on the controller, that changes the particle effect. So you can see here kind of these white lines that are cutting across the screen. Okay, let me walk over here, different area. But if you notice, as I move, these white lines move with me. They're always changing. And the point of these particle effects are, again, so you have infinite, unique photos. You'll never get the same shot as another person, because these particle effects alone are like a fingerprint, right? So let me switch it again. So this one here is kind of like a weird amoeba thing, but you can see it through the geometry, so it creates a kind of a unified field effect. The next one, this is my ribbon. Let me change up the time of day a bit. I've been on this one for a while. It's kind of cool, right? Change up the filter. So you notice the ribbon, any place it intersects, it kind of, see right there, it changes the colors of everything that it overlays. So again, if you think of this as you're trying to create abstract art with your photography, this ribbon, I mean, when you take that finished screenshot and you look at it later, like right there, that's cool. If you look at it later, it flattens itself out. I mean, like the image becomes like a flat painted surface. That's kind of cool too. Like I said, there's many combinations I haven't seen. So that's just the particle effects. So I'm going to press back again to reset everything to normal. So the final thing, it takes a moment for the particles to die out. There we go. Alright, so the final thing that you can change up are the rendering modes. And these are kind of drastic changes that I put on a separate button because they are such drastic changes. So this is the X button. You press it, and the first one is Wireframe Mode. So as you can see, it kind of overwrites any other thing you'd be doing. But it's still an interesting look, and it has its place and makes for some interesting screenshots. The next one up is Chroma Shift. Now this one kind of doubles the image. This is like a 3D glasses effect. So as you can see, it looks really interesting, and this is one of my favorites. But you can still keep switching through the colors and filters, and that doubling effect will remain. So you can just kind of play around with this as much as you like. So let me again go back to normal. So the next filter, this is normal maps. So this is basically a debugging command. This is like a behind the scenes look, but I mean it's interesting also, and I figured I'd throw it in. The next one, this is Sharpening Mode. So this is, as it implies, it's sharpening the image almost like a filter in Photoshop, and it creates kind of like a colored pencil look. So I mean, makes for some interesting screenshots. They're definitely very distinct. And again, you can switch between different colors and stuff with that. Like, look at the sky there. It almost looks like a Piranesi or something. Let me go back. And the final rendering mode is just unlit. This is turning off all the lights. This is the colors of all my objects as I'd originally made them. It's kind of bland, but it's also kind of, retro video gamey. And some people might like to take it. I'll take that shot. So that's kind of the options you have with your camera. So I've been walking around this one area quite a bit, but at any time you can press B or enter on your controller, and it'll warp you to a different area. And as I think I said, there's 15 to 20 different areas in the game, each varying in size. The last area was a larger one. This one's a medium-sized one. But as you also probably have been noticing, so far I've been walking around, a little bit of sprinting, a little bit of jumping, but nothing too crazy. But I feel like these movements won't give you enough options for creating cool photos. So if you click the right analog stick, or you hit F, you enter a flight mode. So now you can fly, as the name would imply. If you click it one more time, it's flight mode with no clip mode. So that means that you can go like this, right through objects. You can go underneath the world. You can see all the areas that you were never supposed to see, areas that obviously I never expected anyone to be able to get to, but I figured there should be no limits to what you can do with these modes. I've got like a really dark combination. There we go. Whoa. Photo. So let me fly back out to the center here and reset it. So just being able to fly opens up the possibilities where you can get, crazy above ground shots, below ground shots. There's really no reason you can't get exactly the shot you want. So like that's kind of cool. It's like 7-Up or something, or Sprite, I guess. So that's kind of what Vacation Mode's all about. I mean, I've been rushing these shots and just kind of been blitzing through all the options. But when I actually sit and play this, I'll take my good sweet time to line up and decide how do I want to zoom in, what shapes do I want, what particle effect do I want, like maybe like that, and really try to, again, thinking of this as like an abstract photo. Like, oh, that's weird, what am I even looking at? I post that online and no one would know, but they'll think it's cool. I think it's cool, obviously. As I said, this is one of the several modes in the game. The other, let me zoom back out. The other modes are story-based. It's really actually just one continuous story mode, the first part of which is called Imperfect. That's the story I released a year and a half ago with this game, and it received, I wouldn't say mixed reviews, more like it rubs people the wrong way sometimes. Some people really like it, and some people really don't. It really depends on, I don't know, your feeling on weird, philosophical, sci-fi, I don't even know. It's weird. But, so that's one part of the story, and that's still included. But the other part of the story, that's the new part, that's Exodus, the, ULTRAWORLD Exodus. That's the second part of the story, and the first part, it ended on a cliffhanger, and this kind of finishes up where that first part left off, and I feel like it's a pretty satisfying conclusion for people on both sides of the fence, so I definitely would encourage you to check it out, and then once you're done, come into vacation mode and relax and take photos, listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack, I should mention, that's kind of cool. Soundtrack, I should mention, I did the whole thing myself also. I mean, I'm the sole creator. So there's about 2 albums worth of songs, and you've been hearing them kind of in the background here. You can, when you're in vacation mode, you can change it. That's the E button or the right D-pad. You can just switch the songs. Or if you don't like the music, it's annoying you, can just press left on the D-pad and turn off the music altogether. But if you think it's cool, let me switch this again. If you think it's cool, you can, well, that's kind of neat. That the soundtrack is available for sale as well as obviously the game, and I just hope you check it out, because I put an awful lot of work into this, and I used to work at Crytek at Sony, and I left those companies in order to really try and make a video game that's like a genuine work of fine art. Whether I've succeeded or not, I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh, that's really cool. I think I have, but I'd really like other people to get in here and start taking photos, posting them online, seeing how they feel, how they interpret my weird story. I don't know. That's my sales pitch. I'm just messing around now. At any time, just 1 through 4, just kind of change up things. Whoops, oh, that button too. Just get something random. Yeah, and that's about it. So like I said, I'm James Beach, this is ULTRAWORLD Exodus, and it's available on Steam. Check it out, tell your friends. Thank you, and goodbye.